Hello everyone, welcome to a foreigner farming in the Philippines. Well, these last 3 rows were put in here. I didn't help with these. Marcel and I were doing other things in town this morning. But it didn't take long to do these last 3 rows because there was basically no moving of the soil. It was just shoveling from one spot to the next. Now there does, we're not completely done because there needs to be a furrow put in here. This row is, you can't really tell from where I'm standing, but it's a little bit high, and it needs to, there needs to be a little furrow put in there, right about where Nini's standing, going back this way. So we ended up with extra soil because we didn't go back, we didn't use most of that last 10 feet there, we did not use. So at some point, perhaps in the future, we'll move more soil in here just to add to these as they get knocked down. Or we can utilize some of that bank there to put into this other field. Now, depending on how this works out here, I mean, these narrow furrows seem to be working just fine. They're working okay. But if at some point we want to put in the bigger, wider furrows in here, and I had planned on, if we're ever going to do that, to use that soil from that dam right there. But we do have this soil right here, the last 15 feet of this bank or so, that can be used. So talked to Gina about it, and she's okay with us buying her onions and using them here. So I think we're going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 more rows of those onions right here, because I really don't want to put, I don't want to put beans or anything in here because these rows aren't straight. It would be hard to put poles in, especially these 2 rows right here. I really need to come back out here with a hoe and just move the dirt over. That would be the easiest way. Now there's plenty of onions to do that. I understand it. I'm going to walk down through here because I need to open this up at the end down here. I'm going to have to get a shovel or a rake or something. That'll drain a little bit there. We were able to get in 2 of these double rows. And looking at this from this perspective, I think we might have one more day of moving soil here. Because the way the girls are doing it, they're flattening these out a little bit to make them wide enough. And in a sense, they're defeating the whole purpose of having the raised rows, because they're not high enough now. They're only, I don't know, maybe 4 inches above where the water is standing. And there's nothing in this row to flatten out. So we do need to move a little bit more soil. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow and the next day. Because these rows, these next 3 rows here are the ones that need to be planted in the onions. And they're the ones that most need soil added to them. So yeah, I'm thinking we can get 4 rows in there, and the end of this row needs to be straightened out a little bit. So there needs to be a little bit of fine tuning here. And I can do that while they begin planting this next row. So we'll get on that tomorrow. Right now, the girls are up there transplanting. They're transplanting transferring the eggplant from the seedling trays into little pots. Alright, well this is what the girls did all afternoon. These are the eggplant that they transferred. Like they've got about a tray and a half there to go. All this under here is eggplant as well. This is the remaining tray of peach-eye that we're going to use for replacements. And this right here are sunflowers. And they just started to come up today. So we'll have a good little stand of sunflowers to put out there. I've got 3 new trays of tomatoes started and 2 trays of onions, but you know, we're not having good luck with these last onion seeds that I got. And there's 2 trays of peppers in there that also need to be transferred. Now we're running short on pots, so, and space as well. We really need to get those rubber trees in the ground somewhere, just to get them in the ground. And you know, I'd hate for them to stay where they are for so long that they begin to root, that they send roots down through those little pots. So we need to, you know, Tata was saying plant them along the ponds. Yeah, sure. I don't care where we plant them, just as long as we get them out of those pots and get them planted so they're in their own little place and we can have those pots available. We've only got like 450 of these little 3-inch pots. They're not expensive, but they're not free either, and I really don't want to buy any more. We really don't have room to put that many more in here. Maybe if we put it along that back edge, but again, we're running out of room here. We need to get transferred what we already have, and it's going to be probably 10 days, 2 weeks before these eggplant are ready to transplant again into the soil. Maybe even 2 weeks. Kind of depends on what they look like. So, and those peppers that are in there need to be transferred before then, because right about in 2 weeks, these new tomatoes that are just now coming up will need to go into pots as well. These tomatoes just started to come up today. Planted those about a week ago. Looks like they could use a little bit of water. That's 2 more trays of onions back there. Again, it's the same packets of seed that we'd used before. That Jin had planted 3 trays of them, and not a single one came up. And so I don't have high hopes for these either. I don't think it was planting technique. We'll definitely know, because now she's planted them and I've planted them as well. So we'll we'll see if it's the seeds or if it was one of us. In fact, I am going to water these little tomatoes here. They need a little drink. So these peppers here, these are hot peppers. They're the chilies. They need to be put into pots just as soon as they're finished with these eggplants here. Hopefully we have enough. That's a couple hundred there. I don't know, maybe we'll just buy another 100 or so tomorrow or the next day, whenever. Progress. Things are moving along well. These are more onions here that need to get in the ground. We're going to be working on the field more tomorrow. Get that straightened out and get those furrows the way they need to be. Things are looking good. I wonder if this watering can has any water in it. A little bit. There we go. Hopefully there will be enough in here. Just need a little sprinkle on these tomato plants. Yeah. That'll be fine. I'll get the rest of them jumping out of the ground. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.